I am here at Mohegan Sun. That's Mohegan Sun with Camila Banus and Blake Berris of Days of Our Lives. How great to talk with both of you. What has this, I was here earlier, I walked by the fan event, hordes of fans clamoring to meet you and talk with you. What was this like for you today?
It was a little intense. It was intense, but it was so much fun. And I actually did not expect so many people to come out to the Mohegan Sun, and it was really great having them and meeting them all. It was just awesome.
Wow, and for you, sir?
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible to finally meet all of the people who really, they carry the show on their back, these fans, and they're so loyal. And we have, I think probably some of the best fans in all of television, and to meet them and hear the way they relate to the show and our characters, I think is incredible.
Yeah. How does this compare in any way to the fan events you did 4 years ago when you were on the show then?
I think it's a lot more intense. I mean, like when just coming out right at the first time, I was like, wow, this is nuts. Yeah, it's overwhelming in the best way possible. Yeah, it's wonderful.
So I'm going to start with you. Nick Fallon's back in town.
He's back.
Now, I've been watching the show my whole life, so it was great to see his mother this time.
Yeah,
because I remember
cool?
her when she was on the first time.
Yeah.
But he's back, and from what we've seen on the air, we're not quite certain how well adjusted he is.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about what's coming up for Nick? And how's he really doing?
I think the writers are doing such an incredible job of reintegrating this character and resurrecting him and bringing him back into Salem. And what I think is so cool is that, we've seen, the first time with Nick, we've seen the dark side and we've seen the light side, and he really has both of those, like all humans do. Mm-hmm. And I think both of those sides are very, very present in the new manifestation of him. And, I think they also kind of keep a question mark above his head, because I think, depending on what happens to somebody, I think it brings out dark sides and light sides, and so we'll have to wait and see what happens to see which sides come out.
Okay. Now, the fact that I get to interview the two of you together, is this possibly an indication of Gabby and Nick pairing up? Anything you could preview? Well, what we just saw this week was their meeting for the first time.
We just met.
Well, you just met.
I don't know. Did you see
I know
fireworks?
It's already like Christmas and New Year's in Salem where you are now, but for us it's still September, so
yeah.
You two just met at the pub.
Wait, did it seem like something was going on?
What happened? Tell me about it. What was going on?
I think you broke something. No, you broke something.
Did I break something?
And she was helping you.
Was I?
Yeah.
Was I giving him any eyes or anything? No.
Well, no, but Gabby's been a little bit secretive lately. We can't always tell exactly what she's up to. So the last time you and I talked a couple years ago, you had just started on the show and kind of acclimating. I think you just got thrown on the show from After One Life.
Yeah.
But Gabby has really established herself as a little sneaky now. A lot sneaky. How has that been for you, this transition?
It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. And, when I first came in and they threw me into the Ariana, and then I had Gabby had a lot of time where she was getting thrown a lot of things. Johnny, Will, even taking care of Sammy's kids, working at the same time, being in a relationship with someone that didn't want them, breaking up, wanting somebody else and them not wanting her back. So a lot of these things have made her weak and strong at the same time, I feel. Have kind of hidden things under but then covered things on top. And I feel like it's just made her really strong to the point where now she makes decisions, and even if they're wrong, she can back them up.
Right.
So right now I feel like Gabby is just, it's really fun to play her. It really is really fun.
Well, you look like you're having fun. Yeah. And I have to say, and this is much a credit to Days as well as you, what doesn't work for fans is when you wake up one day and suddenly a character radically changes. With Gabby, there was a little lie here, there was a little lie here, there was a little fear, and then she slowly became more and more confident with telling little lies, and ultimately that escalated to some pretty tragic stuff.
Lie, yeah.
But it looked like every step of the way you were just relishing this sort of chance to sort of be a little naughty. Was I picking up on that?
Oh yeah, and especially with Andrew, he was amazing, by the way. Caleb Hunt is amazing. It was so much fun to play with him because it was the only person I actually thought that I controlled.
Right.
And so thinking I had that power was so exciting because with everybody else, Rafe he's my older brother. I have to do exactly what he tells me. You know, and everybody else I felt like was at my same level. But when I met Andrew, when Gabby meets Andrew, it's kind of like, I hired you. You are below me. You will listen to me. And so,
hearing her say that right now.
And so it was fun to play that kind of thing. And obviously we had a lot of back and forth, and he's just amazing at that. And honestly, he's such a talented actor, and I had a great time filming with him.
I have to admit, I was a little disappointed when he died because I thought he would be a really formidable villain and opponent for Gabby. But you know, it's Salem, so he probably has an evil twin somewhere anyway. So maybe we'll see him again someday.
This is my excuse. Just like Rafe had Rafe too, I feel like this whole time Gabby has had Gabby too.
Maybe.
I don't know, somehow somewhere in a Demare basement
Maybe
there's Gabby.
in Demare basement there's, you know, well, they've cloned people and put them on islands and, you know, wow. Now, you were gone for 4 years. Tell us about what you were doing. Wasn't it 4 years? I think 4 years.
Something like that, yeah.
3 years. I think you've been working on some independent films. Some
a bunch of independent films. A couple of very cool films. One called Meth-Head, which is a very kind of intense film about meth, so if you can believe it.
Crystal methamphetamine. For those who are reading this who don't know, of course.
And actually, along the same lines, I played another drug addict on a show called Breaking Bad.
Yes.
And a couple other TV things, The Big Bang Theory and NBC's Prime Suspect, and a film in Portland I did called The House of Last Things, which is kind of a cool thriller. And a bunch of these films we're hoping are just now being submitted to film festivals, and we're hoping to premiere them very soon.
Okay, so we got Meth, Breaking Bad, and Nick was under the influence of drugs when he did all those nasty things 4 years ago.
Yeah, I played a lot of
So
drug
what is the pattern I'm seeing here, sir?
I don't know.
What's going on here?
You tell me. I apparently scream psychopath or drug addict.
Yeah. That is a good quality in an actor.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, there's some of the funnest parts I've had the opportunity to play. So.
Are you having fun as Nick being back?
Oh, it's great, and I keep saying this, but I really mean it. I just think it's some of the best writing I've ever seen in daytime. The storyline that we're getting, and the way that I love the way they're writing my characters.
So tell me, I'm going to ask you now. Tell me about the story. I know you're allowed to tell me a little bit.
Okay.
You can speak in generalities.
Well, you know, what it just aired is Gabby and Nick meeting, and obviously there is something interesting, I think, when they both meet, because, you know, they've never met each other. I pretty much know everybody in the town except for Nick, because he just got out of prison, and he pretty much knows everybody except for me, because I'm relatively new to the town. And so it's a new meeting. We have some things in common. Kind of like gravitating towards each other just because we both have come from like a rough time, and he kind of knows a little bit about how to deal with it. I don't know how to deal with it at all, so I feel there's scenes where he kind of like helps me and understand that, you know, things are gonna get better.
They relate to each other.
Right.
He knows a lot about being a psychopathic killer and running around and doing evil things. You're just learning.
Yes.
Learning the ropes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like there is going to be, I mean, I can't really say what kind of relationship, but there is going to be a relationship, friendship.
Well, we're working together at this point, and I think there's definitely chemistry. And then I think that they relate to each other.
It's a friendship, you know, and
and
that's a very important thing for Gabby, because she has no one right now.
Right. Now, I don't know how to ask this, and you don't even have to respond, but I did notice that Will and Gabby scene, the sex scene. I did notice there was no talk of condoms being used. I noticed no birth control being used.
I haven't seen it. I didn't see it.
Okay. But there was no discussion about birth control during this whole thing, this whole spontaneous
Can I say something? Can I say something in my defense? Can I say something in my defense?
Anything.
The first time we ever had sex, there was no talk of birth control or condoms. Or yes, there was. Damn it.
Right.
Because he dropped one on the floor and Rafe saw it. Damn it.
Right.
The condom?
Yeah, they do. Sometimes, you know,
I've never seen anybody talk about a condom.
No, it's this weird paradox on soaps.
First time I did, yeah.
Okay.
They're trying to put out a positive message for younger people, but for some reason, once people get into their 30s, they don't talk about condoms anymore. I don't know why. It's this weird thing. People in their 30s do have sex. I've heard. So, is Gabby pregnant or what?
I can't say.
Okay. All right. Just, you know, I'm a viewer. I look for these things. Okay. Okay.
I can't say.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But if she was, it would be exciting.
Fair enough.
I think.
It would be.
Would that be a cool storyline?
Honestly, I love the show. I would not be a huge fan of that story.
Why not?
Because
I want to know this.
Because the whole gay story which it's what they can get away with on television. They could get away with Will and Gabby getting really, really hot and heavy, having sex. There's no way we're ever going to see that with two men. And Will has had all the sexual experimentation with women, with Gabby only, but we've yet to see that with men.
Oh, yeah, I think
and it's not like this never happens.
I want to say,
yeah.
I think that you're going to be
more.
pleasantly surprised.
Okay.
On that side of things.
Okay. Yeah. I'm good with that.
There's no dearth.
We have been really working. I think the show in general has been working, and specifically some of the directors have been working on making this as real as possible.
Very good.
For Will.
Good.
And I think that a lot of the scenes that are coming up with him are going to shock some people, and it's amazing because shocking is one of the best things you can do when you're in the entertainment business.
And we need that. I mean, I love days and I love daytime, but I think we do need something that opens audiences up a little bit, kind of the unexpected. So I'm happy to hear you say that. Well, I admire both of your work so much, and I love what you're doing with the show. I hope we get to do many, many more of these interviews.
Cool,
I'm glad you're back.
Thank you.
And we're going to be talking again.
Great.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you, Damon.